Hi dear friends, in the previous video I shared with you about my passion for the nations and praying for the nations and interceding for the nations. So this morning when I woke up very early, I started praying and thinking about all the things that I've seen on the news and you know, during this week and the previous weeks and whatever, and all the darkness and the chaos and the fear and the destruction and the disorder and the wars and the amount of deaths and desperation and the anger that people experience and the hurt and the pain. And as I was praying and just talking to God in my heart, with this heaviness in my heart, you know, for what we are seeing, I saw a picture of a tree, and as I was looking at the tree, I could see all this fruit on the tree, and the fruit, the distance that I was from the tree, the fruit looked amazing. But as I walked closer to this tree, I could see some of the fruit was very mushy, and some of the fruit had brown spots on it. Some fruits were ripped out. It had pieces ripped out, I think by the birds or whatever. Some fruit fell to the ground and it was splashed. Some fruit was rotten and there was worms in it. And the closer I got, the more I looked at the fruit, the more it feels like, when I look at it, I was saying, how am I going to fix this? How am I going to fix this tree, this fruit? I mean, maybe I should just shook the tree so that all the fruit can just fall off, so that new fruit can come to the tree. And then I just had this pressing on my heart, and I believe it's God's Spirit saying to me, it's not the fruit's fault. It's not the fruit's fault that the fruit looks the way it looks. It depends on the roots. And the more I was thinking about it and praying into it, I realized that if the roots are dried and rotten and not healthy, and the ground is dry, then it's impossible for this tree to produce the fruit that it should. So the more I was praying into it and thinking about it, the more I realized that if we look at the world and we see all this brokenness and darkness and chaos and all this hurt and everything, it is not the problem. That is not the problem. The problem is what's happening in the roots. And I realized, and I felt in my heart a prompting of the Spirit of God, that we have to go back to the beginning. We have to go back into the roots. If our roots is not healthy, if our roots is not in God, I mean, I shared the other day, in the beginning, there was God and His Word. If our roots is not getting enough nourishment and water and food, how would we be able to have the right fruits? How can we expect the world to have other fruits than what is in the roots? And I think that is where I am at the moment, is going back to the roots and asking God to speak to me. What is the roots all about? What is it that we need to go back to? How are we going to fix this? And I pray that you would pray this with me and hear from God. What should I do? What is my role in changing the situation, in changing the place where I live, in changing the nation where I'm at, in helping this broken world? And we will talk about it more and more in the weeks to come. God bless.